News 8 Midday starts now.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us on Midday. We always appreciate your time. We're halfway through the work week. I'm Emily Kinzer in for Phil Sanchez this morning. We start with the latest in Crime Watch 8. Police are trying to figure out what led to the shooting death of a man. This marks the 135th homicide investigation this year. It happened at around 4 this morning in a neighborhood north of Washington Park on the city's east side. Officers responded to a home near the intersection of 36 and Rule Streets. They found a man with a gunshot wound who was pronounced dead at the scene. So far, investigators have not shared any identifying details of the victim or any information about a suspect. They do say, though, this is the 124th homicide investigated as a murder this year. That's 7 more than this time last year. Of course, we're going to continue to follow this and bring you the latest on air and online at wishtv.com. Police say a love triangle is what led to a recent deadly shooting in Indianapolis. Dominique Johnson is charged with murdering Anthony Walton in August. It happened at the Carlton Apartments. That's near 86 and Township Line Road. Police say Johnson and Walton had a history with the same woman. Early in the morning of August 27th, police say Walton and his girlfriend were outside talking. That's when Johnson drove up and shot Walton. Police say a witness shot Johnson, who needed surgery, before he was placed into custody.
I was not denying the fact that I was wrong for running. I should not have ran. But y'all were definitely wrong for how y'all handled me after I was detained.
A man in the center of a viral video of an IMPD officer is sharing his side of the story. We first told you about this earlier this week. Police say Bryant Patrick Jr. took off on foot after a traffic stop. Police caught him, handcuffed him, and then say Patrick made several threats to officers. An officer was seen throwing him to the ground in the cell phone video. But Patrick, on the other hand, says he doesn't remember threatening officers and didn't deserve the beatdown. He said he tried to run because the officers had guns out during the traffic stop.
I was definitely denied medical attention, denied badge numbers, names, disrespectful to my fiance after she told, because it wasn't like she was recording for clout or to be famous. This was, listen, y'all are being recorded, so can y'all please stop doing what y'all doing the way y'all doing it.
Marion County Prosecutor Terry Curry released a statement saying he would take a look at the video. Currently, Patrick's case is being reviewed internally and the officer is still on assignment. New developments are in the USA Gymnastics story we've been following for days. The interim CEO has stepped down following widespread criticism. Mary Bono was in charge of the Indianapolis-based organization for only 4 days. Our Julia Ding has more on what happened and what's next for USA Gymnastics.
Well, Mary Bono's short-lived run as interim president and CEO may be over, but it continues to raise questions about leadership at the national governing body. Bono, a former congresswoman from California, is now the second USA Gymnastics president to resign in the last 2 months. Backlash over her hiring stemmed from a number of concerns. One, Bono used to work for a law firm retained by the group during the Larry Nassar scandal. Critics accused her of being part of their cover-up team. In addition, athletes, including gold medalist Simone Biles, complained about a photo Bono posted online. It showed her blacking out a Nike logo on a golf shoe following their Colin Kaepernick campaign. Prominent gymnast Ali Vraisman tweeted overnight about her resignation, clarifying that her objection to Bono's hiring wasn't personal. She acknowledged Bono's own experience as a young gymnast. Bono has stated in the past she witnessed a coach engaging in inappropriate behavior. USA Gymnastics released a statement saying, in part, athlete well-being is at the heart of everything they do. They are now looking for a new leader for the 3rd time since last year, and this comes after the entire 15-member board quit back in January. Back over to you.
Julia, thank you. Turning our attention now to the weather. It's chilly, sunny. Yeah. Just a typical fall day, pretty much.
Very fall-like day outside. Temperatures, just a little bit shy where we should be for this time of the year, and that trend's going to continue through the next 8 days. So keep the coats handy. You'll need to, and at least for now, you won't need the rain jacket. We're going to stay nice and dry through the day today. Temperatures started off again below the 40-degree mark in most spots. 38 in Indianapolis, 39 in Bloomington, 36, one of the cool spots there. In Shelbyville, temperatures about 5 degrees cooler yet by tomorrow morning. So keep the coats handy. You're going to need that with the mostly clear skies. 52 right now. A little breezy outside. You can see the camera wobbling around a bit. West-northwest wind in play at 20 miles per hour. That's going to help to drag in that cooler air for tomorrow morning. That's why a freeze warning is in play for most of central Indiana. So if you still have the pets, the plants outdoors, you might want to bring them in through the night tonight. Temperature-wise, 50 degrees by 1 o'clock. We'll end up topping out in the mid-50s by later on this afternoon. Barely a cloud in the sky. So again, a really nice day to get some of that early yard work done before the temperatures start to cool back down and before those rain chances start to rise in the coming days. 31 degrees as you head out the door tomorrow morning. That's why that freeze warning is in play here across central portions of the state. A little bit further south, frost advisory. If you haven't seen any of the frost yet, you'll probably see some by the time you wake up early tomorrow morning. So we'll talk about, again, the cold night ahead. We'll talk about how long these cooler temperatures are going to stick around. Spoiler alert, it's going to be for a little while. Again, we're not going to see a big warm up, just a little bitty one in the 8-day forecast. And rain, well, it's coming along with that warm up. I'll let you know when that rain will return and how warm we'll get coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Brad, we'll see you then. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is on his way to Brussels after meeting with Turkish officials about the disappearance and alleged killing of a journalist who graduated from Indiana State. Jamal Khashoggi was last seen walking into the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, Turkey, 2 weeks ago. News 8's Brittany Lewis has more.
Secretary of State Pompeo met with Turkey's president and foreign minister today. The Associated Press is reporting that he held separate meetings with them, each lasting about 40 minutes. No details about their meetings have been released yet. The meetings in Turkey come one day after Pompeo held meetings in Saudi Arabia. He met with Saudi King Salman and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Before leaving, Pompeo said the kingdom promised a transparent investigation into the disappearance and alleged killing of Jamal Khashoggi, according to the Associated Press. The Associated Press is also reporting that a pro-government Turkish newspaper described an audio recording of Khashoggi's killing that it said showed he was tortured. Khashoggi was a Washington Post columnist and a Saudi critic. He was last seen walking into the Saudi consulate in Turkey on October 2nd. The Saudis have called Turkish allegations that a team of Saudi agents killed him baseless.
I stress the importance of them conducting a complete investigation of the disappearance of Jamal Khashoggi. And they made a commitment. They said they would do that. They said it would be a thorough, complete, and transparent investigation. We'll all see the results of that. They made a commitment that they would show the entire world the results of their investigation.
Senator Todd Young tweeted this yesterday. We have seen a pattern of reckless behavior by the Saudi Crown Prince, including in Yemen, where Saudi Arabia has engaged in gross violations of human rights and helped cause the world's worst humanitarian crisis. In another tweet, he said, America's basic and fundamental values demand a suspension of arms sales to Saudi Arabia. In an interview with the Associated Press, President Trump warned of a rush to judgment, saying, I think we have to find out what happened here first. Here we go again with, you're guilty until proven innocent. I don't like that. We just went through that with Justice Kavanaugh, and he was innocent all the way as far as I'm concerned. Of course, this is a story we will continue to follow. Reporting in the newsroom, Brittany Lewis, Wish TV, News 8.
Brittany, thank you. New this morning, President Trump says it's not his fault if the Republicans lose the House in November. In an interview with the Associated Press, the president said he's helping people in the midterms. He said he thinks Republicans are going to do well in November, but also said some voters have told him they won't vote in the midterms because he's not running. Trump also said he would handle it very well if Democrats should take the House and pursue investigations or impeachment. And of course, Wish TV is your local election headquarters. We're now 20 days away from Election Day, and News 8's going beyond the commercials to give you an in-depth look at the candidates in the highly contested U.S. Senate race. We have half-hour specials with both Republican Mike Braun and Democrat Joe Donnelly. Tonight, we'll talk with Braun on issues including health care, tariffs, and his relationship with President Trump. Braun told us he believes the Republican Party is, quote, on the clock.
And I think conservatives have a narrow window here to produce and to show the results. And I'm going to be a different kind of conservative because I can prove where I've done it in state government and in my own business. And I think there's maybe till 2020, and then, I hope that the current point of view is still in place. And if we don't solve these issues by 2024, we've had our chance.
If you're interested in watching, you can see that full interview tonight at 6:30 here on Wish TV. Our interview with Joe Donnelly will air tomorrow night at 6:30. And it is basketball time in the Hoosier State. The Indiana Pacers are opening up their season tonight at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. We'll hear from the team's top 2 stars on their expectations for the season. That's coming up.